Hello people, this is Self-Tuts, and in this video we will be scraping GitHub for the trending repositories. So we will be using Python and we'll be interacting with the GitHub website with the Python script that we'll write to scrape the trending repositories. So I'll show you what are the trending repositories and how it will be beneficial for us if you want to get the latest trending topics on GitHub, so that you can learn new things, you can keep yourself up to date that what is the new thing that is going in the market. Then this particular script will help you because you can run it every time and you will get the trending things that are going on in the field of software development. So we'll be using Python, and in the Python, we'll be using important libraries like request and beautiful soup, from which we can scrape the GitHub trending website. So I'll just go to the browser here and we'll search for GitHub trending. So I'll say GitHub and then trending. So this will give us a link here which will show the trending repositories of GitHub, and here you will see what are the different repositories which are trending. So there are different parameters based on which these repositories are identified as trending, like the number of stars that happened on that particular day and comments or other things. So there are different criteria through which these trending repositories come into picture in this particular URL. So what we'll do, we'll scrape this particular repository so that we can get data at some place. We can store that in MongoDB or we can store that in MySQL later on, which can help us to learn new things or keep ourselves up to date. So at present time, the trending repositories are this, like COVID-19 app, iOS beta, or something like Tenno, or you can go for Design View Pro, Playwright, Doom. So these are the different, like System Designer Primer, and if you want to see what is inside System Designer Primer, so these is the repositories from where which you can learn something about system design or other things. So every day this trending repositories list changes, and based on your interest you can just scrape the website at that particular time and you can visit the link and you can read about that particular topic or something. So we'll be scraping this particular page. So now what I'll do, I'll go to my Linux box here, or this one, the directory where we'll be creating our project. So the name of the project will be created in this particular directory, that is D drive workspace Python, and I'll make the directory as GitHub and then scrape trending repositories. So I'll just keep this name from GitHub. So I'll give it a meaningful name so that you are able to understand, and later on we can push the code to the GitHub repository. So this is the directory that I'll be creating, and I'll go inside this particular directory. So it is empty now. Now we are using IntelliJ IDEA to create our project. So I'll open my IntelliJ IDEA, and in the open I'll do what? I'll go to D drive, and here I'll go to basically workspace, and there I'll go for Python, and this is the directory that we have made. So I'll be doing the project settings here, and this is the project structure, and here I'll be defining a SDK inside this particular tab. So I'll add a new Python SDK, and I'll be using which environment? That is, you can see, Python 3.6, and the virtual environment will be, we are using this virtual environment, so it will be created inside that particular repository only, and we'll click OK, and this will help us to create a virtual environment. Once this virtual environment is created, then we'll select that virtual environment and we'll create our project. So successfully it is creating it, and then you can see here the virtual environment has been created, and inside the project what we'll do, we'll select that. So this is the virtual environment, and I'll hit apply and then OK. So now you can see here is what the virtual environment folder has come. So once it is there, so the first important library that we are going to install is request. So I'll be installing pip install and requests. Request has been installed, and after that I'll be installing the beautiful soup. So pip install and then beautiful soup and then 4. So this is the library that we are using. Before starting the project, I'll try to explain you that what we are going to do. So basically we are going to create a Python program to fetch the trending repos. So we'll call GitHub for the trending repository. So this is the GitHub website, and this will return us a HTML content. So in the HTML content, the content that we got will load that into the beautiful soup. So this is a library in Python which creates the DOM object model from the HTML content. So if you know about DOM object model, it is a tree-like structure for your HTML data. Now in this beautiful soup DOM model, we'll use different queries to get the data that we want. So we'll see that in which data we are interested in and how we can get it through the query inside the beautiful soup DOM or the object model. We were inside here in the IntelliJ IDEA, and I'll create a new file, and the name of the file will be what? It will be Python file, and I will name it as app.py. Once the file has been created, then we'll import the first library, that is requests, and this is the request library that I'm importing. And after the request library has been imported, we will be defining a function here which will help us to get the trending repository. So I'll say def get trending repositories, and that will not accept any argument, and for now we'll say pass. So once this function will be completed, we'll get a list of trending repositories. Now I'll be defining the execution script for this, that will be equal to if underscore name is equal to underscore main. Then in that case, what we need to do, we need to call this get trending repository. So first I'll do a print, that is scraping started scraping, and after that what we will do, we'll call this method, that is get trending repository. Now this will do what? This will try to run this particular get trending repositories, and we'll be writing our code here. So if I run it, then you can see as of now we are just printing started scraping. So I think there's a spelling mistake here, so I'll just correct it, change to scraping. Fine. The first thing that you need to define is the URL to call. So we will be using this particular variable to store the URL that we are calling. So we were calling the URL here, that is GitHub and this particular trending. So we will copy it and we'll come here and we'll just paste it. So this is the URL that we will be calling. Now once the URL is here, we will try to call this particular URL, and we'll see what you will use the library request. On that request library, we'll be using get, which accepts the first parameter as the URL to call, that is a URL. And then we want to pass some headers so that we can say that the call is being originated from a Chrome or something, or Mozilla Firefox like environment, so that GitHub will not block us, or if there is some script which will see that some script is running it, so it will bypass that. So I'll write headers user agent value will be equal to what? Mozilla and then 5.0. So this is the header that we are passing. So once this header has been passed, we will try to collect the response. So the response will be collected in this particular variable. Once the response is here, we'll try to print the response. So first we need to print the response dot status code. So just see what is the output. So if I run this program again here, you will see started scraping, and you will get the response code equal to 200, which means the response was successful. Now we'll take some decision based on the response code. So if the response code is other than 200, which means it is not success, then there's no way to scrape the website further. So we will store this particular data inside a new variable, that is response code will be equal to response.status code. Now if response code is not equal to 200, then what we are going to do, we are going to say print error occurred, and we'll say return. So if the error occurred, then we'll just return from here, so that we don't want to proceed further for our scraping. Now let's say there was some data in when we called to GitHub trending link, and in return we got some HTML data. So we can get the content of the response by using what? HTML. We'll store that data into the variable HTML content is equal to response dot content. So this will help us to store the data inside the HTML content variable, and we'll try to print that using print HTML content, and again we'll run the program. So this time you will see that we are getting the whole data here. So this is the whole HTML data. This is a string format, so the whole data which is present here, if I show you here and if I go to view page source, so this is the HTML data that has come there. So if you see the whole HTML data here, so same is printed here. So now what we have done, we got the HTML content. So we will do what? We will load this particular HTML content data into our beautiful soup so that we can create a tree-like structure, a object model, a DOM model, and then we can query on it. So for that, what we need to do, we have already installed beautiful soup here, like pip install beautiful soup 4, and since it is installed, so what we will do, we'll say from bs4, we'll say import beautiful soup. So we'll import it. Now it is imported, so we will create a DOM object by using beautiful soup, and inside the beautiful soup we'll be passing our HTML content, and after that we'll say that we are parsing it as HTML.parser. So there are different parsers like XML parser and other things, but for this tutorial we are not interested in XML parser, we are interested in HTML parser. So we are writing the second argument as HTML.parser. So this will help us, this will help Beautiful Soup to understand what the content that we are passing is of type HTML. Now once the Beautiful Soup DOM object model has been created and stored inside this particular variable, then we can query over it. So the query syntax is something like that. We can say DOM.select. In this select method, we can pass some string or some selectors which are similar to the CSS selectors. So if I go now here to the website, and if I see this particular thing by doing an inspect element, so what I'll get something like this, that all the articles are present here. So you can see these are the different articles. So if I want to select this, I want to select this, I want to select this, then I need to do a CSS selector by using this article, and inside article there is h1. So inside h1 you can find this is the link, and you can also get something like what is the text or something. So if you want to select all the articles, so you need to select article tag on which the box row is there. The class is box row. So we want to keep our selector like this, and inside the box row we want the selector h1, because if we select this one, then we can get all the data. So we can get the link, and the name is also present inside the link only. So we need to just remove this slash sign here and we can get the name. So NHSX and then COVID-19 app beta. If you come here to this one, like Doland Deno Denoland Dio, and we'll do a inspect. So you can see here again the link is this one, and we can just get the name from here. So we need to select this particular thing, that is article, and then all the articles which are having this box row as the class, and inside that we'll be selecting the h1. So now the important thing that you need to keep in mind is that based on your scraping of the website, that if you want to scrape some different website, you need to follow the same thing, that you need to inspect, and then you need to make some decision that which particular element should be queried upon the article soup object or the soup object, not article soup object, basically the DOM object from which we want to select something. So in our case, we are interested in what? We are interested in article tag. So we'll say it is article tag, and the class on that article tag should be equal to box row. So we are writing dot box row because the class is on this article element only. So we are writing it without some space, we are writing on that only, and inside that we want to select the h1 element, the article class, the box row, and here h1. So inside h1 there is a tag. So till now we have selected what? We have selected up to article box row h1, and let's do what? Let's keep it inside a variable. So we'll say all trending repo is equal to this. Now we'll loop over these repos and we'll try to print the HTML content one by one. So we'll say for each trending repo in all trending repos. So we'll do a loop over it and we'll just say what, print each trending repo. So let's run the program again and see what will happen. So you can see the different repos are here. So the trending repository space, design resource for developers. If you go at the top, then we can see the first one was what, COVID-19 app iOS beta. So COVID-19 app iOS beta, and then COVID-19 app Android beta. So that can come here, COVID-19 app Android beta. But this is still in HTML. This is not perfect to store inside database or something. So we will come here and then we'll say, we'll try to access this href link. So we are interested in this href link because from this we can calculate the link also and the name also. So the href link can be stored in a new variable, and we can say href link will be equal to the each trending repo. So each trending repo data is equal to what? It is equal to this h1 inside h1. So on this each trending repo we are interested in h1, and on that h1 not on h1, so it is each trending repo, so that is equal to h1. So this is equal to h1 tag, and on that h1 tag we are interested in a element which is inside it. So h1 tag and then a element, and on the a element we are interested in the attribute href. So we can say dot ats and ATTRs, which is equal to attribute, and then we can say href. So you need to go to the Beautiful Soup website and then you need to learn all these things like how to access different DOM elements, how to access the attributes, how to access the child elements. So that is up to you, that how well you need to write your code, and if you're stuck somewhere then you need to Google it or you need to find it on their documentation page. Now let's see, we got this href link, and again we'll try to print this href link. So let's run the program again, and this time you will see that we'll get all the href links. So you can see we got all the repositories href link. Now once we got the href link, then we can deduce or we can take out the name from it by removing the first slash. So if we remove the first slash from all this string, then we can get the name. So I will use this Python method, that is 1:, which will take all the string starting from 1 to the last, because it is 0 index. So we'll remove the 0, we are selecting it from 1. So now we got the name. Design our dictionary where we'll be storing the label here. So we'll be writing the label is equal to what? It is equal to name, and then we will be writing the link key, and the link key will be equal to what? It will be equal to http and then s, then github.com, and after that we will say this one, that is here, the formatter. So we want to put some text here, so we'll be using the Python format method, and if here we write the href link, so it will give you the full URL. So we'll just say href link. Okay, fine. So now once we have created this repo, then inside a particular array or a list we can store that. So we can say trending repositories is a variable which is an empty list, and once we loop over the selected elements, we'll do what? We will go to this trending repositories and we'll append the data. So the data will be appended like this. So we are appending each repo data inside it, and once all the loop is successful, then what we will do, we'll just return the trending repository. So once the whole method is completed, that is the scraping part is complete, so what we'll do, we'll just return the trending repositories. Now what we need to do, the get trending repositories will return you a data, so that we will store it inside a variable, and we'll say trending repos is equal to this. Now we want to print this in a beautiful format, so we will be using a new library which is inbuilt inside Python. So we'll say pprint, and then we'll come at the bottom, and here we'll say pprint.png. pprint and then trending repositories. So now let me run it, and if I run this, then I'll get a beautiful data here. So you can see these are the different labels and these are the links. So this is the data that you are getting when you run this particular repository. So you can put a cron job, you can put some trigger through which this particular script can run, and after every 10 minutes or after every 1 hour this script can run, and then you can take this data, put it inside a database, and then you can create your own beautiful website where you can get your trending repositories. So if I click on this link, then I can go to that particular trending repository. So you can see here, if I click it, I can go to here. So this is how beautiful it is, that if after every 1 hour I will run this particular script, so the data will change based on the trending repositories which are currently available on GitHub. So if I click this one, then also I'll be moved to that particular repository and I can read that what is it about. So this will help you to be with the market, that is what are the trending things that are going on in the software development field, and you can learn it and you can improve your knowledge. So this was all about this video, that how you can scrape the GitHub trending repositories using Python, Beautiful Soup and Request. So hope you like this video, hope you like my channel. Please subscribe to my channel and please share these videos with other people. Thank you.